Hello, this is Mrs. Lustenau, and we are here to talk about another cause of the American Revolution. When we last left off, we were talking about the Intolerable Acts. So let's talk about what happened right before the Intolerable Acts, and that was the Boston Tea Party. As you know, the Sons of Liberty got together in the middle of the night, disguised themselves, and threw well over $1 million worth of tea into Boston Harbor to protest taxation without representation. So the King of England found out about this and was very upset. He was upset, so was Parliament, because he saw this as now just going too far. So the Intolerable Acts were meant to punish the colonists, specifically the colonists in Massachusetts. So one of the things that he did is close the port of Boston. Another thing that the Intolerable Acts did was send more soldiers to police the colonies. Also, the colonists had to quarter the soldiers in their own homes. We'll talk about that. And in order to stop all of this, to stop the quartering and send away the soldiers and open up the port of Boston, the king and the parliament insisted that the colony of Massachusetts pay back the king and parliament and the company for the ruined tea. So let's go ahead and talk about the closing of Boston Harbor. Boston Harbor was pretty much the biggest harbor and busiest harbor in New England at the time. So closing that really impacted everybody in Massachusetts because this was the way they made money. Imagine not having any way to get goods into your community or out of your community. That would be really hard. Another thing that they did was insist that the colonists house the soldiers and feed the soldiers in their own homes. How would you like it if an enemy army came to your neighborhood and you had to provide a bed and food for that soldier? Now, within the video I'm including, or the slides that I'm giving you to watch, I've embedded this video all about quartering. If it works, I recommend that you watch it because it'll really help you understand what it all was about. So another thing that they did was give people perhaps the consequence of having their trials set in Great Britain. That meant that if they committed a crime in the colonies, they couldn't stay in their local community to have their trial and punishment. They would be sent all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. And that was scary for people. They didn't want to leave their community, and it made them really frightened. They wanted to have their trials in their own communities, and they wanted to be judged by their own peers. But no, they would be sent all the way to Great Britain, and the colonists didn't like that. Finally, it changed the rules for getting the governor and other appointed officials. In the past, colonists had some local say in voting for local leaders. But now the king said, nope, I'm going to appoint all of the leaders. You will have the rulers and leaders that I say are okay. You don't get any chance anymore. So what the colonists started doing is really using those committees of correspondence because Massachusetts was pretty much on lockdown, and all the other colonies felt bad for Massachusetts, and using the committees of correspondence, that secret message system of spies, they got supplies this way, they got intelligence this way, they got weapons this way, and the committees of correspondence was really important after the Intolerable Acts was passed. So what I want you to do is read this article. Do your best to read it. And when you're done reading it, I want you to do this Google drawing. There are 4 questions about the Intolerable Acts, and you can pretty much get all the answers out of this article, but you really got to read the article, you guys. You can't just kind of come up with answers. A little bit of it is your opinion, but most of it is true, real facts stuff. And when you're done with that, if you want to, you can watch this animated video about the Intolerable Acts. It's called Liberty Kids, or that's the series it's from. It's pretty good. It's a little bit dry, could be a little confusing, but give it a try. You might like it. It's just optional. So I hope you enjoyed this activity, and good luck.